Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. This is Sipping Tea with Nat and Z. I'm Nat.
And I'm Z.
What's up? What's up?
Nothing. It's been a week. It's been a week and
Whoo,
a
girl,
weekend.
girl. It's been a whole year and 2 weeks. The way I've been feeling, a whole last year,
Shit. You
like a
and me
leap
both.
year too, with an extra day.
You and me both, man.
Ooh,
You and me both. But thankfully, because we
mm-hmm.
are all vaccinated, we all got to
Yes.
see each other yesterday.
Woo, woo, yay! It
And
was
it
so
blessed my
nice. It
soul.
was so nice.
I was so excited and so happy to see all of my
Yes.
girls. And I'm going to say this, we have some talented hoes in our group
Yo,
because with
I'll.
the meal, the little lunchbox that was
Yes.
prepared for us.
Yes. I'm telling y'all, it was like a whole production. It could have been a
Yes,
whole little weekend retreat, like a wine retreat. It just could have been
it
like
was beautiful. We
it
had
was gorgeous.
individual lunch boxes prepared
Yes.
for us because of COVID, and you
Mhm.
don't want to have communal food. So our
Mhm.
host had little boxes for us. Um,
Individually wrapped
yes.
food with this cheese. Oh,
Oh my
girl,
God,
that
that
cheese.
cheese.
That cranberry cheese, girl.
That
Oh.
cheese, Jesus. I have to pray about that cheese. That cheese
Yes.
was delicious.
That gave us life. That cranberry cheese.
Woo, that cheese was good. And then another friend bought things from her garden for us, mint
Yes.
and basil
And
and
some
olive oil, homemade
salt
salt.
for
Like,
our chicken and steak
y'all not
and
ready. Y'all not
oh,
ready.
but you know what? You got to give Z. You can't take yourself out of this. Z made us candles and salts and smell goods and I
Uh-huh.
mean, I'm telling y'all, it was like a whole Martha
It
Stewart, but
blessed.
not blessed. It was dope.
It was
It
a
was dope.
perfect welcome to spring
Mm-hmm.
and welcome to still being in the panini, but at least our bitch asses are vaccinated.
Yes.
Party.
And I will say it was also so cute because everybody brought their children, right? And everybody
Mhm.
has girls right now. So it was the
Yeah.
all the ladies were at the table and the girls were laying out on blankets in the lawn. And it was so
Yes.
cute to see
It
them
was
like
very cute.
bonding and playing tag and hide and seek and
Mhm.
it was really
My
nice.
my daughter was throwing up gang signs
Oh
saying that
my
I
goodness.
showed her how to do stuff.
She's
I
like,
did not.
"Ah, yeah, you did, mom." What?
So
It was nice. It was
it
really,
was
really
beautiful.
nice.
So let's get into some tea. Look, I ain't got it in me today. So y'all just do what y'all need to do when it comes to tea and your doctor. You know the drill. You're responsible. You should be adults. You have a brain. Figure it out, okay? I don't have it in me today.
Ooh, child. So the tea on the table. Ooh, Lord, is peach turmeric herbal tea from Spice and Tea, right? So it's a combination of vibrant golden yellow herbal tea with a bold flavor. It's fragrant,
Mm.
rejuvenating. It's a beautiful blend, delicious hot or iced. Caffeine free. We all know turmeric is great for inflammation,
Yes, it is.
and we
You
know
can use
peach
that
is
on
good
your
for
face
everything.
too.
Yeah, it's good for acne and
Mm-hmm.
scarring. You can
Yep,
make a paste out of it.
hyperpigmentation. Yeah.
For
Mm-hmm.
scarring and stuff. So it has coconut flakes in it, rooibos, organic honeybush, peaches, honey, and lychee. Ooh, the lychee flavorings. I think we talked about lychee one of these times. It's from South Africa, and we will post the steeping instructions on our feed on IG. So
Yes.
yeah. Oh, and it's also known to be good to help with cold, flu, as well as inflammation, as I have mentioned before. So
And I'm
it's
gonna do a better job of making sure that I actually put the tea up because we've had people ask like, uh, yeah, the tea I can't find it. So we'll do a better job of making sure that you're able to locate the tea. Also, we want feedback. I had
yes.
someone tell me recently that when they found the podcast, they'll never lose it again. But it was hard to find our
Hmm.
IG page. So if you have any suggestions on what we can do to make it easier to find,
Hmm.
for those who want to find us, for those who want us to grow beyond our 28 listeners.
Oh, And we thank
Please.
each and every one of
We
you.
do. We love y'all.
We
We
love y'all.
do.
Y'all don't know because we be hearing feedback and we appreciate you. Thank you.
So just let us know.
Hot
So
tea.
yeah, hot tea. So the Oscars passed last week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, man,
I didn't really watch it, so I don't know.
I'm done. Okay, I'm done. I am done. I tried to give the Oscars a
Ooh.
lot of grace
Uh
because
huh.
I am a cinephile. So I love movies. I love what it takes to put these things into production. I love the everything. And I critique things. And I can be honest about who really deserves to be nominated. Some of y'all think just cuz certain people in the movie, that just
Mm-hmm.
automatically means that the film should be
Right.
nominated for Oscar. And that's just
Right.
not how it works.
No.
There are a lot of films that a lot of people don't want to give credit to being good movies or have the ingredients for what the Oscars are looking for as a good
Mm.
movie. That's
That's a good
different.
point. That's a good distinction.
It's a very good distinction. But even with that, I'm not going to not acknowledge the fact that Oscars, hashtag Oscars so white, it has been that way for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And my naive self thought this year was going to somehow be different because I followed all of the award shows and I know how award shows work. I know how
Mm-hmm.
it works to get nominated for the Oscar and then to win the Oscar. And usually you can tell who's going to win based off of how people have been winning throughout the award season. I fully expected Chadwick Boseman to win the Oscar. Fully expected. Everybody in the know fully expected it to be him.
Mm-hmm.
The Oscar producers themselves had in their mind that he was going to win. And how do I know this? Because Best Picture is always the last award.
Yeah.
Always. I've never seen them do it any differently. This year, they had Best Picture, Best Actress, and then Best Actor.
Mm-hmm.
Why did they put Best Actor last? Because they thought that it was going to be, is it the denouement? Is
Yeah.
that the
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 denouement.
denouement
Where they tie up the loose
of,
ends. The
yes,
denouement.
that it was going to bring everything together. He was going to win this award, and it was going to be an emotional way to send out the Oscars. And did he win? No. Dusty ass Anthony Hopkins, who didn't even show up, won. Okay? Okay? And I'm pissed because there were two white men nominated, Gary Oldman, Anthony
Mm-hmm.
Hopkins. And then there was, and I'm so sorry, um, I don't remember their names. One guy is of Asian descent. He was in the movie
Yeah.
Minari, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He's also was on The Walking Dead.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
the other guy, he is of Muslim descent.
Oh,
I
yeah, I know.
believe that
He's of. I can't. I don't want
he's
to.
middle. I believe
He's
he's
Middle
Middle
East
East.
Eastern. I don't want. He's either.
Yes, but I don't want to
Right.
misclassify it.
Represent
Right.
what that could be.
So just I'm saying the majority of the people that were nominated were minorities. And you give it
Very
to
diverse.
dusty ass Anthony Hopkins, old ass Anthony Hopkins, not taking anything away from his body of work. But he played an old man with dementia. How is that really stretching? He's old. He probably do got dementia. It's like him waking up in the morning, just going about his day. Like that ain't no stretch. You telling me Chadwick Boseman literally knew that this was his last film and gave it everything that he had and more.
Yeah, he did.
And
Literally
you don't
gave it
give this man
everything.
his award? Oh,
Everything.
y'all can kiss my entire round big ass, okay? Because that's just
But
a
I think the
travesty.
audience was shocked too. Like
Everybody
they
was.
were like,
What
"You
the?
didn't." Uh.
It was
Okay.
bullshit, and I call it. So let me take it down a notch because that's how I felt about that. Before that,
Yeah.
you had the best actress. So thought it was going to be Viola, but anticipated that it could possibly potentially be Audrey Day.
Yeah.
Neither one of them bitches won.
No.
Now, I will say Frances McDonald is a great actress. I put her up there with Meryl Streep. I actually equate her to the Daniel Day-Lewis if you want to categorize it in terms of gender. She picks very unique roles. She doesn't really go out there for these flashy things. She is a great actress. So for them to give it to her, I'm not mad per se. I just felt like they could have gone in a different direction, especially because I ain't see her win any awards unless I missed it. Like, what would you, sis? Really? I don't.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So how upset I am with the people that won. But Daniel Kaluuya won, and I'm excited about that. He deserved. Who else won? Oh, the women who did the hair and makeup for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. The first time we're in the year of our Lord 2021, the first time two African Americans nominated, I believe, and won, or just maybe have won.
Oh wow.
Two women, okay, and there was a man up there too, so I don't want to discredit them. It was a white man, but they always get their shine, so I don't need to give him props because
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Right.
So, then there was a short film that
Mm-hmm.
was produced by a whole bunch of people. Van Jones, no, yeah, no. Van Jones is the crybaby on CNN, right? So that's not who it
Oh
was.
shit.
Van Lathan, sorry. Van Lathan. I'm on the
I'm
road today.
weak.
Y'all don't
I'm
understand. It's
weak.
been a week, so y'all just got to bear with me. Van Lathan, Terrence J.
Oh, that's
Um,
right. Terrence J did
he
win an
produced
Oscar.
it.
Yeah.
Diddy produced
Mm-hmm.
it.
Right.
Um, I feel like I'm missing out somebody. But Joey Badass, he's a rapper. If you don't know who
Mm-hmm.
he is, you can look him up. Ava DuVernay's brother
Mm-hmm.
also produced it. Producing it, if you don't know, money. It's them giving money to fund the project. We
Oh,
still
okay.
haven't watched the short film, but apparently it's about it's like a Groundhog Day kind of
Mm-hmm.
scenario where this man wakes up he keeps waking up and the day ends with him having a dangerous confrontation with a
Mm-hmm.
police officer. And it just
Oh,
is him trying to figure out how not to have this confrontation. That's what
wow.
the premise is. Soul won for best animation,
Yeah, I thought
Her
so.
won for best
Yes, she
song.
did.
So we did represent in a lot of ways. I just wish that but I know they didn't want us to run the board because we would have ran
Mm.
the board. And people of color would have ran the board because best director went to an Asian woman, best supporting
Oh
actress went to an
yeah.
Asian woman,
Her
best
speech was
supporting
funny.
actor, yes, it was. Basically, she called out Brad Pitt like, "Yo, you produced our film, but we ain't even see you show up to the set, son. What's up with that?"
Right. She's like, "Hey, hey you back
Yeah,
there.
you
Hey,
produced the film. We
hey."
never saw you, but
Yeah.
thanks for
That was
looking out.
so funny.
Um, so we definitely represented.
Yeah.
Um, but it could have been they just didn't want us to run the board, and that's what I think it was. They did not want us to run the board because if we would have ran the board, wasn't no white people getting nothing. White people wasn't getting nothing out of that. And I love y'all
Yeah.
white people. You know I do. Is just jokes, but I'm just saying we had these
Mm.
situations time and time and
In
time and time
time.
again, and I refuse to not acknowledge the work that
Mm.
people of color do
And the body of work,
and the
the
body of work that
amount.
we produce. No, we're not going to do that. Tyler Perry won for the Gene Herschel
Yeah,
Humanitarian
humanitarian
Award.
award.
Movies is still trash, but he's a great humanitarian. I'm glad they gave it to him because that's the only Oscar he will ever get. Sorry, I told y'all I'm on one today.
Once he got a whole ass studio to produce some stuff.
That man ain't winning another Oscar unless he do some more humanitarian stuff. Unless they create a black Oscar.
You know what?
I'm just keeping it real. Y'all know that man's movies and shows is trash. They're trash.
People evolve.
But I will respect it because he gives people the opportunity to
He
make
does.
money. And I
He
will never take that
does.
away from that black man.
He does. He has created a whole industry for folks to sustain,
Yes, but what
which
I
is a
don't
beautiful
need
thing.
is Medea goes to
Medea going away
the
on her
CDC to
final
figure
run.
out
I'm so mad Medea go to CDC to find out where COVID at.
to get the COVID to get the COVID vaccination. I just don't need to see that. Okay. Um so let me get into some best dress and then we'll move on. Zendaya does no wrong, and she did no wrong on the carpet. Her stylist is Luxury Law. He is phenomenal. They always take chances. Sis seemed like she bought her own wind with her when she got on the carpet. She had this lime
Not wind.
green. Yes, she had this lime green. I said it was neon green. They say lime green Valentino couture dress.
Ooh.
Sis looked bad, okay? Sis was the snack, the entree. She was everything, okay? Angela Bassett, of course, will never do wrong.
Yes.
She had
She looked
Alberta
amazing.
Ferretti red
Mm.
gown.
That
Hair slicked back.
the sleeves. The
Yes.
sleeves on that joker.
Yes. Giving me
Mm.
everything that I needed. Looking like the bottom of a Louboutin. She just
Yes.
was fantastic.
Amazing.
Um, yes. Regina
Amazing.
King,
Oh, her
beautiful.
she was
Louis
snatched.
Vuitton, out the gate, just told y'all what it was when she
Mm.
started off the Oscars. And if you thought Good Sis wasn't going to do that, she was. Looked brilliant. I mean,
Yes. That
woo.
color was
She didn't miss
gorgeous.
a yes. She did not miss a beat this award season. Everything,
Mm.
she was giving it every time she got dressed. Okay,
Mm.
so those are my top women. I wasn't really a fan of Viola Davis's dress. The white looked beautiful on her skin. I'm not gonna take that away from her. I
Mhm.
just didn't think it was giving what it was supposed to have gave at
Mhm.
all. Audrey Day thought she was going to the Grammys, not the Oscars.
Woo.
Did not like her. She looked like she was on Dancing with the Stars. I just no, I can't. This was not giving me anything. She just wasn't.
Like you
So
felt like she was gonna salsa across the floor or
it
something?
looks like that. It was just too much skin for me for something as prestigious as the Oscars. It
But
just was
I
too
did
much.
appreciate the shade that she gave. She's
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Oh yeah," she's like when what's his name was going through checking, guessing songs. She was like, "Yeah,
Uh
but they wasn't gonna win no way."
oh yes. What's his name? Little Rail.
Yeah,
When
Lil
they were
Rel.
doing that
Mhm.
game about did this song win an Oscar, get nominated or
Right.
neither.
Right.
And when you found out that Prince's Purple
Never.
Rain didn't get any, it got
Mm-mm.
score but not song. And she said, "Yeah, that sounds about right because it's
Yeah.
Oscar so white."
Mm.
Um, I didn't really like her outfit, but you know,
That was a
it is
gold
what it is.
tuxedo. What was it?
Her had on this blue like jumper with a hooded
Hood?
cape
Oh, I'm
over
thinking of
top
her
of it.
performance. That's
Yeah,
what she had
no.
on for her performance.
But it looked good. I just wasn't for me.
Mhm.
So the best dressed men, Coleman Domingo. He's the guy that was also in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Mhm.
People were clowning him about his suit. He had on that hot pink suit. I don't care. That brother looked good. Okay, he looked like God just took like 40 extra minutes to make that hit him and put him in all of his glory. His skin was just woo. He looked good in that pink suit. I
Look
don't
that
care what
up.
nobody say. That man looked good. Who else looked good? Aldous Hodge in that white Dolce Gabbana. I don't know what it is, but I think it's that dark skin against that white. Like I said, the viola
Pops.
and that white, it popped. He looked good.
Mm.
Like Jason Bolden is his stylist, did an excellent
Oh
job
yeah,
with him.
Jason. Mhm.
I believe. Don't I think either him or Luxury Law. It's one of the two. But unfortunately, there's not a lot of black stylists, which is a
Right.
whole nother thing. Um, So, and I liked Tyler Perry's suit. He was dressed in
Mhm.
Giorgio Armani. I did not like Lakeith Stanfield. People were giving him props. He was in Saint Laurent. I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. And maybe it was his poses. I just didn't like it.
He wasn't
It
feeling
just
it. Wasn't
he
giving
just
you
looked like
nothing.
he just came out of Studio 50 high off of coke and life, and I just
Oh
didn't
Lord
like it.
Jesus! I'm gonna have to go look at these
I didn't
outfits
like it. It wasn't for
because
me.
this is hysterical.
I just didn't like it. Daniel Kaluuya, he was in Bottega.
Mhm.
I didn't like his suit. It just didn't look like it was tailored enough. The
Mm.
pants look a little baggy. It could be his shape. I don't know.
Right.
I just didn't like it. It was not for me.
Mhm.
So that's my wrap up for the Oscars. A few extra things. Shock G, we lost him recently. Rest in
Mhm.
peace to him. And, our prayers and sympathy go out to his family. DMX's funeral passed. Um, that was the same weekend.
Mhm.
I watched some of it. Um, it was really a black ass funeral, and I mean that in the most loving way. All 13 of his children was there. His ex-wife, baby mamas was there. Of course,
Mhm.
somebody that was his friend came up and just hijacked
The
the
mic.
the mic. Said y'all left me out the program.
They said that?
Yes, 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 yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yep. So it was everything you would expect in a black funeral. And I'm glad that that man was sent out and you really got to hear the testimony about
Mhm.
how he really loved the Lord. And that's the thing I would like for a lot of us to take away. Have some spiritual or have some type of spirituality about us.
Mhm.
Like, he wasn't a perfect man, but he loved, everybody said it, he loved the Lord and he
Mhm.
was trying. And that's all that you can ask for, right? Is somebody to just try.
Mm.
Just
That's
try.
it. Just make an effort.
And we should be more kind and give more grace and
Woo!
empathy to people for
Yes.
just trying and showing up.
Yes. But don't
Um,
take advantage of that grace and empathy that
no,
someone is
don't,
giving you.
don't, um,
So just be mindful.
don't. I'm gonna skip that one because I don't care about that man. Oh, LeVar Burton,
Mhm.
everybody, he got his guest spot on Jeopardy. Let's
Mhm.
all watch because I think he would be a great permanent Jeopardy host. But we really need to put our support behind that brother
You
because
got
I
to
love
vote?
me.
Is there a voting
No, but
option?
the campaign, we can't, people campaigns enough to
Enough to
get
get them
him
on there.
the guest spot. So,
Okay.
but that's it.
Okay.
So,
All right. So we're going to take a quick break and come back, and we'll jump right back in our tea segment. And we're back. So I just realized, well, Zarif and I were talking, that we didn't really say what the show topic was because we just got carried away. We just got carried away with talking about stuff. So it's May, y'all. It's gonna be May.
it's
So
gonna be
say
May.
May. For those of you who know where that comes from, props to you. So so it's May. It is the month that we celebrate the mother figures, aunties, all of that in our life. So we wanted to take some time and kind of take a look at the mothers in our life, but in a mother child dynamic way, meaning how do we interact? How do mother and children how do they work together? What are the things that influence? What are the nuances that build that relationship up as we grow? So, the connection and interaction between mother and child is a dynamic and ever evolving process. Despite what most people think, they think the connection between mother and child and the attachment and bonding is automatic. That is not um, always the case at all. There's time and effort and different steps that have to be done repeatedly that have to become ingrained after they become what do you call it, habitual, and it's the result of learned experiences and certain things that you do with your children in the beginning of their life. They stay with them from that point in time, from birth until, even if you don't think the child is conscious of it, they do stay with them, and then they may manifest later throughout their childhood and adolescence, and eventually become part of their subconscious. So forming an attachment with your children in the early stages could involve holding them, the power of touch. We had talked about the love languages and where that
Mm-hmm.
comes into to play, and touch is a big one. But children definitely respond to that. Providing a safe living environment, talking to them, they respond. They, their eyes. They may not be able to articulate that to you yet, but they can hear their pitch, the eye
Hmm.
movement, the facial recognition,
Hmm.
laughing and playing with them, which they always like, and they just look so happy all the time. Like the little ladies last yesterday, they were so happy.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, our one little niece. Oh, she was so excited to see people. It was adorable. Oh my lord, the joy that she had in her face. Oh my goodness, it was so beautiful. Making sure they get enough sleep, Don't have your child just hanging out with you at 11 o'clock at night. You know,
But it's
it's
summer.
just, you know
It's
what?
it's summer. If they get to hang out, it's summer.
Summer.
Sorry, that's an inside joke. Sorry.
It's summer.
It's summer.
That goes along with having expectations and setting limits. But because it's summer, apparently you can bend those a little bit and learning to understand the unique way they express themselves. Each child has their own
They do.
unique quirks. We know that Charlie has her own unique way of expressing herself to her cousins and
Yes.
whatnot, and the part of her crew that she
Yes.
got.
Her gang signs. Oh, good.
Oh my goodness! It is just it's a beautiful thing, but it's just one thing to remember. These these um these type of actions, even though you don't think they have an impact, they do.
They
They
do.
really do.
They do.
They really
And,
do.
the first, I would say, the first dynamic that, is a good place to start is when it comes to mothers and daughters, right? Because mothers birth daughters, and then those daughters then themselves sometimes become mothers, right? And the relationship between a woman and her daughter is very powerful, and the or vice versa, right? And it can infect, not infect, I'm sorry, affect or infect, depending. Hey, I mean, if it's
Mm-hmm.
toxic, it can affect everything from her health and self-esteem to all other her other relationships.
Yes, it can.
Because it does. It sets the stage for all other relationships. It sets the stage for how she interacts with her girlfriends. It sets the stage for how she interacts with her intimate partners,
Yes,
her workplace colleagues, her boss. It does. It
it's
sets the
so.
stage. If you're literally, you could, the way you interact with your good girlfriends
Mm,
may be the same way your daughter then react interacts with her good girlfriends. If
mm.
you sit on the phone gossiping all day about May
Yeah,
and
that's true.
Mary and Susie, then your daughter may become a gossip and do the same thing.
If your
So we
mama a mean girl, you could be a mean girl
she you
too.
your daughter might be a mean girl. I
Mm.
hope that, since you, like you said, the majority of us have girls and that's it. We do have, friends that have sons, but the majority of us just have girls. And I hope that we present a good, you know, visual of what it means to really have a tribe and a community, and how that can really feed your soul and lift you up. Because that's important. It's very important. So, how can mothers impact their daughters other than just the basics that we just talked about? Body image. So, girls who hear disapproval of their physical features can sometimes become perfectionists. They may never be
Mhm.
satisfied in their lives. They may judge everybody else in
Mm.
the world by their looks. One of the
Yeah,
things that popped into my mind as we were going through this is, the old adage when we grew up, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I
that's a
think that is
lie.
that is a fallacy.
Yes, it is.
Words
Are just
have
as
meaning, and they can have even more of an impact on you than sometimes the physical.
they last longer because they can
It
be
can,
replayed in your head, whereas a
right?
bruise can eventually heal,
It
and you'll
can
forget
eventually
about it.
heal. But words, you have to be mindful of the things that you say, because they can have a lasting effect on someone. And this is a
Yes.
perfect example. If you're telling your daughter that she's chunky, she needs to lose weight, even at a young age, she's going to
Mhm.
become self-conscious. So you have to be mindful of that and be aware
It
of that.
is. That is so true. That's a cultural aspect that comes in with
Oh
that
yeah.
with the mothers and how some cultures have no filter in how they view what their daughters should look like
Mhm.
and what they will say and what is actually okay to say in front of family.
Mhm.
And if they think that you are looking on the thicker side and they won't say anything else about the other accomplishments of whatever else you have going. You could have just, I don't know, found the cure for something on the moon, and it'd be like, "Woo, look at that! You looking kind of around the middle there, or what's that? Something like that." I mean, it's real, and it can undercut where your emotional state.
Yeah.
and depending on how long it's been going on, it can definitely manifest
Mm-hmm.
later in life.
And I won't say it's just culturally because I've shared this. I had my uncle sent a text to my sister recently, and I almost felt sorry for him because the text started out, "Oh, how are you all? I haven't seen you guys in so long. What's going on with me? Nothing much, cause I'm just I don't have anything going on." And then I was like, "Oh, damn, I feel bad because he is over there." And then as soon as I said that, the next sentence was, "But y'all still big?
W-
You still a degenerate,
Sir, oh Lord, sir,
sir?" So that's what I'm saying. You have to be mindful of
yes,
the things, right? So you have to pay attention to that. If you watch This Is Us, there's a very good visual of how a mother can impact. And this isn't just a color thing either, because on This Is Us,
right.
it's a white mom, white daughter, and the daughter struggled with her weight because of
Mm,
who her mother was and how her mother, even in the best of intentions, gave her daughter some made her daughter be a little self-conscious about her weight and the way she looked.
mm-hmm.
um you know our and that can sometimes bring about stress, right? So then you can have, as a mother, an impact on your child in the sense of how they are able to cope with stress in healthy ways. If your daughter sees you managing stress in unhealthy ways, she's probably going to do the same thing. If you drink your stress, you use drugs,
Yeah.
you stay in the bed all day and cry.
Mhm. And it could be subliminal. You don't not even realize that it's
Right.
being picked up. You just kind of grifting that stuff as you go because
You
you're
have
just
to be
going about your
mindful of
yeah.
that. You
My
have to be
exactly.
mindful. Um, Ability to create her own purpose in life. This is good. The way that a mother guides and rewards her daughter towards a set of activities can be highly influential in determining the lens through
Mm,
which the girl determines her world and her purpose in it. And you probably are hearing that and it's like, what does that mean? This is what that means. Think about it in this situation. You were forced to take care of your younger siblings, and this was getting them up in the morning, feeding them, taking them to school. A lot of us who grew up in the 80s were latchkey kids, right? Because this is probably the 70s and 80s. This is when the mothers actually started to go into the workforce, right? And you start seeing more single parents, right? Because we're shifting dynamics where
right.
the two-parent household was there. Like,
The leave
and
it to
that's another
Beaver.
conversation. Yes, and that's another conversation because we're like, I want a relationship like my grandparents, but did they have a good relationship or did they just stay just because that's what you were
Mm,
supposed to do?
that
So a lot of people were starting to move away from that. There's some single parent homes or both parents had to work. So we're not saying that this is intentional, but if that happens, right, that woman, that little girl is going to turn into a woman who may think that her role as an adult is just one of servitude and servility. And then what?
there. That is a long standing habit that she
Yeah.
may do and not even realize it.
Yep.
And even as the mother daughter relation dynamic, you have to think about as a parent, they didn't necessarily have a workbook or a
Mm-hmm.
playbook to go by. So
Mm-hmm.
you also have to give grace in that regard because
Mm-hmm.
they're working with what they knew they had, with what they had and what they knew at the time.
You're
But
right.
do understand it still has impact.
Has an
Still
impact.
has impact.
Um, the expectations and style of relating with romantic partners definitely is something that can impact a daughter as she watches her mother do the same thing, right? It's usually, and I'm not saying all the time, but it's usually the mother who teaches her daughter what love is and how to show and receive it.
Hmm.
So, think about it in that context.
Yeah.
If a, a daughter's capacity for real love can be impacted in a major way if the mother offers and fosters unconditional love as a source of strength rather than weakness.
Right.
And that's important.
Hmm.
The ability to engage in healthy emotional intimacy, right? That is huge.
Mm, very.
If the impact can be negative if the mother shows, how can I put this in a way that, let me phrase it this way. If a mother shows her daughter that she can handle all of her private thoughts and feelings, even though that they may be unpleasant, the daughter will have a healthier way to engage in emotional intimacy. So if
Mhm.
she is a situation with her partner where she has to confront some unpleasant feelings,
Mhm.
a mother can impact whether that daughter is going to do that in a healthy way or
Right.
an unhealthy way.
True.
Because the mother is a model. If the mother is dealing with emotional intimacy in an
Mhm.
unhealthy way with her partner, the daughter's just going to see that and model that behavior.
Mhm. Mhm.
And she might allow those feelings to swallow her up or
Mm.
wipe her out. And we
Yeah.
don't want to do that.
No. And it happens, but that's not to say you haven't that your mother also cannot equip you with the skills to bounce back
Right.
from that as well.
Exactly. You want to make sure, and this is something I try, to make sure that your daughter knows that you should feel safe to share and receive feelings, but you should also make your partner feel safe to share and receive feelings. Because that is part of a healthy relationship. You know, a daughter can be impacted by her mother in the ability to manage emotional dependency needs.
Mhm.
So if a mother acts powerless and helpless every time their partner is away, then she's telling her daughter, oh, I have
Mm.
to depend on a partner to make me feel good or to
Mm.
make me whole or to make me be able to continue
Right.
moving forward.
Validate
She
your experience
exactly,
of existing.
exactly. But if the mother indicates that she's emotionally stable when her partner is away, and even though I miss them, it's okay. I can function without them. And when they come back, there is going to be this healthy exchange of emotional need.
Mhm.
That is important. And I think a lot of us have seen someone who feels like they're not whole unless they're in a
Mhm.
relationship.
Right.
Where do you think you get that from? Go back into your experience and see. If you feel like it was from your mother,
Look at how you interacted or
right,
not interacted
right.
with her or mother
Codependency.
figure rather
Oh,
or
or
a
mother
mother
figure.
figure.
Exactly. Codependency, that comes from the mother's impact.
Mhm.
And that could be codependency. There's some moms, they do that with their children. Oh, don't leave me.
Yes. There's
Why are
shows
you
about
going
that.
away? Yeah, to school.
Yes.
I don't want you to get married to that man.
Yes.
Why do you want
Mm.
to spend the night away from me?
Come and stay with me. Why do you have to move out? Can you
Right,
move next door?
right. Because even though a lot of us don't want to admit it, a lot of us will say it. It is expected of the daughter, the oldest daughter, the woman child, to take care of the parents.
Mhm.
And every woman that I know that has older parents, that is the expectation,
Mhm.
whether they're the oldest or the only.
Mhm.
That is the expectation. You will take care of your parents. You're the one
Yes.
who's supposed to step in and take care and never leave and never do anything. You can't you no.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that, but you shouldn't be. I know some people that are guilted into it. I don't
Yeah.
I and to the point where the
Yes.
caregivers are like, I can't, this is too much for me to take on.
And it can be a lot.
Yes, financially, emotionally.
Yes.
It's easier if I put you in an assisted living facility, but you're
Mm.
guilting me and saying that I don't love you because I'm doing that.
Right, right. But I'm loving you better because I'm providing resources to take care of
Right.
you better because I don't have that skill set to do
Exactly.
so.
And then the attitude towards equality in romantic relationships. And this is
Mm.
a big one
That's it.
because this is a big one.
Mm. Mm.
Depending on how you see yourself in your marriage or relationship,
Mhm.
probably stems from how your mother saw herself in her marriage and her relationship,
Yeah.
right? A woman who allows her partner to make all of the decisions in the household without question or dialogue. And what I mean by this is without question or dialogue. That's the big part.
Mm,
It's not about if you have a conversation with your spouse and you say, okay, you're the head of the household, I'm following your lead.
right.
That's not what we're talking about. If you don't have a conversation about it, if you're not
Right.
having a dialogue about it,
It just happens.
that might be unequal there.
Mhm.
But that may be because of what you saw your mother go through.
Mhm.
If your daughter sees you suppressing your voice, always deferring to the partner,
Mm.
and always seeing me unhappy in that.
Yeah. That's a big one. And I think sometimes as women, we either coddle situations because we're soothers, we're
Mm-hmm.
nurturers by inherently. Not everybody
Right.
has that, but inherently we're soothers and we want things just to be okay. We want
Right.
everybody to feel okay for the most part.
Right.
And when that doesn't happen, you will bend and sway to make things better. But in
Right.
doing so, also you kind of stifle yourself and you lose yourself and
Yep.
you lose your voice.
Yep.
And then you end up unhappy because you're like, I just want everyone else to be okay. And you think you're happy because you're making other people happy when in fact that is not the
Not
case.
right. And it could be the opposite. If
Mhm.
you are a dominant woman and you don't
Mm.
let your partner have any say in what goes on, if you have the
Mm.
type of personality that could emasculate someone
Yes.
and make them feel like, okay, I don't have any say or control of what goes on, then your daughter may go into relationships
Mhm.
thinking, that's how it's supposed to be. I'm the boss. I run it. You do me. You do
Mhm.
what I do, and
Mhm.
say, you don't get to make any decisions in here.
Right. Mhm. That is
That's
so
not.
true.
And then what happens? A lot of times, these women, these daughters of ours, choose men who want to be mothered,
Mm.
rather than have an equal partner who shares and cares.
Mm. The impact is real.
It
And
is. And, I want to preface this before we go to the next part. Like, this isn't, we're not downing mothers because we all are mothers, one capacity or another. What we're
mhm.
trying to do is show how we can break these generational curses and make
Mhm.
sure that if you are, and this is for daughters, but we do also have a part about sons. This is a way for us to raise healthy, happy, functional human beings.
Mhm.
Because a lot of us, whether we want to admit it or not, are in therapy because somehow, some way, our parents effed us up.
Whether consciously or
or
just because they
or
were
so
just
they
they
just
just had
didn't
their
know.
own demons. They
It's
didn't know.
grief. I mean, it's grief. It's grace. We have to
Right.
give grace. Be empathetic because
Right.
again, our parents, they were. I mean, hello. My mom had me when she was 22. My mom died at 44. I am now 44. I can't now, looking at it from this age and this perspective, I give my mother all the grace because I don't know how she did it with two girls. I don't know.
Mhm.
Not to say that there aren't still some issues that I wish I was able to resolve with my mother before her passing. And not to say that I am not in therapy due to some of the relationship challenges that her and I had,
Mhm.
but I understand. And so this is just to give you perspective, again, because we all want to raise healthy, happy, functioning children. I
Yes.
want Charlie to spend the least amount of time on the therapist couch as possible. telling them what happened between her and I. So this is more so even for us to just acknowledge that there are some challenges when
Yeah.
you are raising a child, but to make sure that we are doing the best to have a healthy relationship with them, right?
Yes. And how do you do that? What are some tips that you can even implement to set that forth? First of all, you really have to set realistic
Hello, good
expectations
morning. Yes, ma'am.
and understand what is realistic to one party may not be realistic to
Hello, good
another.
morning. Yes, ma'am. You better
Please
preach
and
that.
understand.
You better preach that.
Cause whoo girl. Cause some people cause for in my exist and I'm gonna call my mom today. But so some of my girlfriends I know, they may talk to their mother every day, multiple times a day. And me and my mother, we don't. I call her once or twice a week check in and see how what's going on, and then that's it. And some folks are like, how can you not talk to your mom every day? That's just not how can you not? That's not a realistic expectation for me and my mother. We understand that and we're okay with that. It's not a good, bad, or indifferent. It's just
That's just what it
that's
is.
it. It is. It doesn't mean that we're in a bad or good place. It's just we talk once a week, once or twice a week, and that's it. So you have to be understanding. And if you talk more than if you're gonna be best friends, you you have to understand. Not everybody's gonna be best friends. You are both women, and women have their quirks. And sometimes you could be oil and water. So set realistic expectations,
Hello, good morning.
please.
How are you today, ma'am? Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Otherwise, you're just going to be tolerating each other, and then
Mm-hmm.
that can build resentment.
Yes.
And then that's a whole other Pandora box that
Mm-hmm.
that we've talked about with some of the stuff Z mentioned. Try to find common interests when you're spending quality time together. If you're able to do so, that could be doing mani pedis. And I'm saying that as a girly girl because that may not be your thing because that your mom, and this is maybe where a rub is. Your mom may be a girly girl, and you're like, look, I'm gonna go out here and climb this tree and ride this four wheeler, and yeah, I'm not fitting to get my nails done, and then you guys may not find that common bond for that, or
And you
gar
clash.
and you clash, but you still love each other. It's just you're gonna have to find something else to do, a movie maybe, outside, gardening, hiking, and she doing her nails, she ain't maybe not going hiking. A book club. My mom and I, we like to decorate. She'll call me and be like, "Hey, did you see the house on Look, Love It and Listed on this color, this shine?" Stuff like that. Like that's what we call each other about when we see some on TV. Set boundaries. This one, ooh, ah, I'm
Mm,
gonna let that breathe for a minute. Set boundaries. Say it with me.
it's important. Set
It is
boundaries.
set
But
boundaries.
here's the thing, and maybe this is a millennial Gen X, I don't know, way of thought, but I do believe that, and this may be a controversial thought, or I do believe that children do need boundaries. I think parents feel
Mhm.
like you're my child, you're in this house, there are no boundaries. Everything is my domain, and you live here, so you have no boundaries. I don't believe in that. You should have let your child have some boundaries, because if you let them set their boundaries, they'll be able to do that in their external relationships with their friends. Because if they feel like they never have any boundaries,
Mhm.
how are they supposed to learn how to set them? And with peer pressure, we have
Mhm.
social media now.
Yeah. The boundaries are
There has
so
to be some
important.
boundaries,
A
but on
limit.
the,
Children need limits
they do.
to grow into adults with limits.
Yes, they do.
You
And we
know.
have to let them know that there are boundaries with us, because these kids are rude.
Oh wow. Are they ever?
They say stuff sometimes, you be like,
Woo!
that's not your place. But I feel like there still should be some,
I
y'all. I know
can't.
y'all don't. Some of y'all like, I ain't no boundaries in my house. I still feel like there are some boundaries, because I understand what it feels like to have things and maybe it's more about respect. There are some things
Mhm.
that my mom, I felt like, crossed the line when it came to me,
Mhm.
and it led to a lot of resentment,
Fair enough.
which then led me to be on the therapist couch every Tuesday afternoon. So I'm just saying, speaking from experience, I'm just speaking from experience. There's just some things that I wish my mom just did not do
Mhm.
to me, because it said you lacked respect for me. And
Mhm.
I feel like then that played parts in my relationships moving forward. It was hard for me to respect other people's boundaries,
Mhm.
if because my boundaries weren't respected. So I was never taught on how to do that.
Mhm.
And then sometimes letting people cross
Your
my boundaries.
boundaries.
You want to be a habitual line stepper. Now we got problems.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of it's I think it's interesting that when sometimes parents try to delineate the boundaries within the realms of that household, but will try to clarify, well, when you get out of this house, this is what you need to do.
Right, right.
So some things, like in our family, there were definite things that were boundary lists in our house. Like, you're not closing the door. You don't pay no rent.
There ain't no
So
closed doors in this
ain't no
house.
closed doors in this house
How
type
many
of
of us have
business.
heard that?
Yes, you when you talk on the phone, you don't go in the room. You don't have a phone. You're gonna sit in the kitchen table, and I'm gonna hear you. And if I feel like picking up the phone and hearing what you're talking about, and I say hi, how you doing today? Then you should say, hey, how you doing, Miss Solomon? So. Yeah, exactly. But with that being said, it still was communicated that outside of this house you're going to run into people that will attempt to do this. You understand that you have the right to say no. You have the right to push back on this, that, and the other, and allow these people in your space. But
Hmm.
that, I realize, is not always the case with some folks.
But
They
this,
can't delete, they don't create that distinction.
but I'm going to say this is very specific with mothers and daughters.
Yeah.
Very specific with mothers and daughters because I think that mothers, when it comes to their daughters, there is definitely a lack of boundaries in their relationship. And I don't know if it's because, well, we're the same gender. I
Mhm.
understand what you're going through. So therefore, why does there have to be this boundary?
Mhm.
And I just,
And
which
it might be
then
the mhm.
I don't know. I
It
just,
might be the bonding. Just think about it. And if
oh
you
yeah.
the bonding, you for those women, that for those mothers that may not have the or understand the boundaries. Whatever they may have gone through to get pregnant, whatever they may have gone through during the pregnancy, that time that they have attached themselves to the child, once that child is out, it's like now I have to create a boundary with my child who has been with me for so long. And that is something that isn't, they don't teach you that. They don't,
Well, yeah.
you know what I mean? So sometimes that's hard for for some mothers to disconnect. As a mother, you may be trying to convey that to your daughter because, like, you're going to go through this one day too.
But and that's what it is. I think it's they're trying to protect their daughters from what they never shared with their
Right.
daughters.
Yeah.
So if they see something
Or was
because
shared
they're a
with them.
woman, woman to woman, I'm trying to teach you this or show you this or have you understand this, and then that's the battle. I mean,
Yes.
that's the boundary. But then
Hmm.
that comes to you got to pick
Your
your battles.
battles. You got to pick your battles. Sometimes you got to agree to disagree because
Whew, peace.
peace be
What
still.
is peace? I love peace. I love peace. Peace
It
is
goes such a long way.
it does. And when I
It
don't have
does.
peace,
It goes such a long way, y'all. On so many things, on so many levels. When the mother daughter, because of course, as you're raising your daughter, as you're, or however you interact with your mother as in your daughter capacity, you would hope to have peace with your mother. Your mother, hopefully, unless it's a narcissistic relationship, wants to have peace with you. Now, that may not in fact be the case in that specific situation, or maybe she doesn't know how to. Because some people know all they know is drama, and it's a cycle, so they don't know how to be peaceful. So they bring that into you, so you don't even know how to pick your battles because they're just battling all the time. So you don't know which to what is a battle to pick because you're in constant battle mode. And that brings into the fact of our mothers were raised in different eras, different
mm-hmm.
times, different lived experiences. Like Z said earlier, when our moms or grandparents were in marriages that lasted forever, were they really lasted forever, or they were there because it was a social construct not to leave, because it
Right,
was June Cleaver, Leave It to Beaver, you know, dad at work come home and their dinner's ready, and you
right.
just kind of suck up whatever is going on. um, and then that's what you model. And then you got to look, like, where are the areas neither of you is likely to change your mind, and you have to learn how to respect each other's opinion. There's a lot of things. When I shaved my head, my mother was my parents were not happy about it. My mother was just beside herself, and she's like, I don't understand why you would do that to yourself. I said, because I like it and I enjoy it and I think it's a great style. She's like, I don't think so. And I said, you know what? We're gonna have to agree to disagree. So it is what it is. And now she doesn't ask me about it. Before she'd be like, so are you ever gonna grow your hair back? Maybe someday. If not, I'll go buy some. It's not that big of a deal. I'm just saying. That's how I got. I'm like she's like, well, I guess so. I mean, you got to pick your battles.
But she may have employed listening skills.
Exactly. And now she just backs off and doesn't say anything. She's just like, oh, okay, it is what it is. And then when you have to bring in your listening skills and you have to listen, you when you are you hearing, are you listening? Are you listening to respond? And how do you process that? Um Making sure you're hearing each other, and where the perspective of where they're coming from, and that can build on additional communication skills to be clear and try to be calm. Now sometimes we know, depending on the style that mother daughters have, sometimes you both have fiery type personalities and nobody's going to get hurt at all, you know and it's just something you really need to take into account when you guys
Mm-hmm.
are talking with one another. And this is a huge one, and we talked about this in one of our other episodes. You have to learn to forgive where they are. You're meeting them where they are. Forgive them for the things that are unsaid, unspoken, that they are not able to share with you, because that are affecting your relationship, because they may not have the words, the space, the ability to articulate and communicate with that to you, but understand you need to give them that grace. And that could help you repair the damage that may be existing between you all. And it's beyond the just the act of forgiving. It can help you both physically, mentally, and spiritually. And the way you continue to build with one another moving forward,
Absolutely.
you know?
So, we knew that this was going to be a lot of information that we were going to give to you guys. And because of that, we're going to do something a little different here. We're actually going to take another break and then come back with part two of our mother child dynamic. And part two will deal with the mother's impact on sons. So, we will be right back.